Now today, AJ, I don't believe in the trolling back thing. I believe in each brother trying to help a brother to get where he needs to be. But I will say this to you, my brother. Today, you said that you rather dominate a football game because you didn't get the satiety out of winning a Super Bowl like you thought you would. You rather have domination. You dominated today. You got 8 grabs, 110 yards, and a touchdown, and a troll on a siren crank. It's all good. Got all that shit in the first quarter. But it's he who laughs last laughs best. And by the fourth quarter, we were the only one laughing. You see what I'm saying? So, crank your ass on out of here. It's what I'm saying. You can get mad all you want.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Who You Got live video. I'm Sun-EB7. Thank you for joining us. It's Mixed Bag Wednesday, so we're going to cover a little bit of everything. And by everything, I mean, the most popular sports right now. That would be college football, a little bit. That'd be pro football, and maybe a few nuggets. In that, I'd like to jump right in. So, didn't Michael Irvin say he don't believe in trolling back? Because that's just what he did. That's my guy, Michael Irvin. He ain't gonna miss one. They think they can come at him, but he's not. He's built different. He's gonna answer the call now. Anyway, I know you saw on the front where it says, "Wisdom speaks to the aspiring, while regret patiently awaits the content." Now chew on that for a second. I put that in there because of Michael Irvin he has a history of speaking to the younger receivers and giving them a lot of wisdom. And when you can, I think there's certain people don't see it. They don't see it as wisdom. They see it as, oh, he's just giving his opinion. No, he's giving out wisdom. The link is in the description. You can go and look at his video. And you will see what I was talking about. He's telling them some things that we know that they're not thinking of. And that's why I put that there, because that's the exact scenario AJ Brown is in. And so while I'm not in that, I will say wisdom speaks to the aspiring while regret waits for the content. Millions and thousands and thousands of ex-players or ex-people who could have played that didn't. There's a lot of regret there. Yeah. If you get content and think you have it, when you don't, you'll get your answer in time. So anyway, next thing I want to cover is that issue in that South Carolina game. It's hard to escape. Now, I don't want to get into what that was really about. But what I do have is a question, because I know people have this question, but I didn't really see anybody answer or asking this question in this way. And I bet you everyone has. And that is, do you think that incident with that officer in that tunnel changed the outcome of the game? Now, mind you, it was just before halftime and the score was 27-3. Now, the receiver was Nick Harbor, and you probably already know that by now. But the game finished 31-30. Here's a stat, or here's something to look at. After that incident happened, they went into halftime. And when they came back, South Carolina never scored a point until the end of the game, where they scored 3. So the question is, now you know about this thing called momentum, right? I mean, there's a multitude of factors that can change momentum. They were waxing Texas A&M. And if I'm South Carolina, I got way more issues with what happened there than just that officer. Oh, I got some big issues because there's potentially, potentially they cost them a lot. Now, mind you, South Carolina wouldn't get into the playoffs, but the notoriety and the things that they could build on by beating a team that's 9 or 8-0 at the time, Texas A&M. So I'm just asking, do you think that the momentum changed when that coach or when that officer did that to Nick Harbor in the tunnel? So let's bounce over to a little bit of the pros. You know who it is. You know what this is about. Shedeur Sanders. And not to get into it big, this is not a Shedeur Sanders video, but I will mention that the viewership for Shedeur Sanders was, when he went in his first preseason game, was 2.2 million. And it hadn't been that high since 2000 or in the late 90s, somewhere around in there, right? That's when they threw him out there. They thrust him out there with the 1s and 2s, and he did just what he did against Oakland. All right. They threw him out there with a bunch of people that should have been sitting next to me. They threw him out there, and he couldn't do that well because he was in duress the whole game. Okay, or the whole time he was in. They used that narrative to say, hey, see, he's not really good. He's not ready for the pro. Okay. Fast forward. We get to this last weekend. His first start, 4.6 million viewers. It was 4.6 because, it was 2.24. And 4.6 million people tuned into this game. Now, I would like to remind you, this is the 2-8 Oakland Raiders, 2-8 Vegas Raiders. I'm never going to get used to saying that. The 2-8 Vegas Raiders against the 2-8 Browns. Let's be real here. At no time in history would anybody ever watch that game. Like, we wouldn't even know they played. The 2-8 Raiders and the 2-8 Browns. The only people going to watch that is people sitting at the Raiders from the Raiders and from the Browns. That's it. No, the rest of the country wouldn't even know that game was played. That said, 4.6 million views. Just thought I'd bring that up. That I found to be pretty remarkable. And to add to that, not to rub it in, and it's not a big deal. But I noticed that there's always a big hoopla about this player, he's arrogant, this player, he's noisy, this player makes a lot of noise. Didn't T.O. make a lot of noise? And don't T.O. got a gold jacket? Didn't Rice make a lot of noise? Not in the same way, but he made a lot of noise. Don't throw him a pass and see what happened. Isn't he a legend? Yeah, there's something to be said to that. There's a dude named Diggs. Every team that he played for was in the Super Bowl hunt. Every time he left, they weren't. I mean, you could say Buffalo's still in the Super Bowl hunt. No, they're not. They're not getting to the championship game. If they got to the championship game, they didn't win it. So either way, well, that would be in the Super Bowl hunt. But what I'm saying is, Buffalo was battling Kansas City to the last second in the playoffs when Diggs was there. They haven't done that since. Now he's in New England and they're leading the division. I don't know. You can say what you want about these players that's arrogant or whatever, that talk a lot. They got to back it up. You got to realize these players putting pressure on themselves. They're taking on the pressure. If I tell you, I'm going to mop the floor with you. Now you get in your feelings. Oh, he said that to me. But if I mop the floor with you, you're really mad. But I mopped the floor. I did what I said I was going to do. Now, if I tell you I'm going to mop the floor with you and I don't do it and you beat me, guess what you're going to do? You're going to brag, and all you're going to talk about, your highlight of your life, is when that guy told you that and you beat him. You see how this works? Yeah, one is crying foul while being the same way. So I think it's a lot more pressure to say you can do something and be thrust in there to do it than not. And what happens is that pressure is the kind of pressure that when you find a superstar. Because once that pressure is out there, everybody, 50% of the people coming to see you succeed and 50% is coming to see you fail. That is 100% participation. That is what makes legends. You can go back as far as Ali. He won the best athlete of the century, right? Over Jordan. And those of you, or those of us that are old enough to see it or to know about it, know that 50% of the country or the world that was watching that match loved Ali, and 50% hated him. So he got 100% participation. And you know why? Because you had to watch the next boxing match if you hated him, because he didn't lose that one. So you had to keep watching. So every boxing match he was in, you coming to see him lose, and they're coming to see him win, and he's winning. And that's just how it goes. He put pressure on himself. He said he could do it, then he had to go out and do it. So I would embrace that. I don't think they should be out over the top. I don't think that. But I don't think there's nothing wrong with a guy believing in himself. If he says, I can give you what you need, that is not an alarm. That's a chance to watch. If you say you can do it, I'm going to watch. And if you do it, I know, okay, I've got a good one here. Because he said he was going to do it, and then he did it. I'm just saying, I think you need to embrace a little of that. Boring teams ain't never won nothing. I'm just saying. Okay, so real quick, Virginia Tech's new coach, James Franklin. Yeah, so everybody there's a lot of hoopla around Virginia Tech acquiring him from Penn State, but I don't see what they're seeing. And that's just me. But here's my issue here. Now, I think he's a great coach. He got 104 wins, 45 losses. That spells success. But the number that gets me is he's 1-18 against top 10 teams in the Big Ten. 1-18. That means he won one time. So if a team is ranked high in the Big Ten, he won't beat them. But Virginia Tech, that's an improvement for them. But I also think that's an improvement for Penn State, because I think Penn State now can go out and get a coach that can exceed that consistent winning, but not winning a big one. Because that's the problem I had. I've been an Oklahoma fan since I was 5. And what I loved about Barry Switzer the most was he wasn't the type of coach that consistently won 10. What he'd do is he'd go out and beat the country with a team that you don't know where they got them from. It looked like a pro team. But then a year after that, 2 years, he's in rebuilding mode. So he's only winning 6, 7, 8 games. Then about 3 or 4 years, here he comes again. I'd rather that than a coach that just wins 10, 11 games every year. So that's why I'm looking at this saying, Virginia Tech, it's an improvement on them. But I think Penn State won this because I think they can go out and you won't know until they find a coach. So, but I still think Penn State's going to win this one. And to add to that, Oklahoma State plucked University of North Texas coach, which I thought was a good move because North Texas is playing some serious ball, right? They're actually in the hunt to be in the playoffs. Now, they're not going to make it, but they're very close. So that coach, maybe he goes into Oklahoma State, because think about it. Oklahoma State was good for a good while. Back in the 80s and 90s, no. But in the 2000s, yeah. T.O. came out of Oklahoma State. There's a few. Oklahoma State had some years. There was a spot when Jimmy Johnson was there. They were really good. They weren't national championship good, but they were really good. And that's one of those instances where the coach goes to a new venue and wins. Jimmy Johnson left Oklahoma State. He was good. He went to Miami, and he was on another level. So, Oklahoma State, I want to see them get back to prominence. Now, from what I know, it takes about 3 to 5 coaches before you actually get a match, get somebody that's good for your program. But, times have changed, and you got NIL and stuff. You might get a coach within 1 or 2. So, hopefully OSU found their man. So, and that's it for this Wednesday's Mixed Bag. Hope you like the content. Share, subscribe, leave a comment. Till next time, take care.
Now today, AJ, I don't believe in the trolling back. I believe in each brother trying to help a brother get